Why are women and young girls especially having a lot of hormonal issues, PCOS?
PCOD is also a metabolic disorder, and which exaggerates when somebody is, the adiposity with weight gain, with poor lifestyle.
Okay.
So it can become severe.
What is IVF?
Somebody could have a severe total tubal blockage.
Oh.
Or severe endometriosis or ovarian failure. So those are the people who need to take help of advanced techniques.
So IVF must be very emotionally taxing for a woman?
Yes. Why it is taxing is because it doesn't give you 100% result. I've seen many people struggling with the first child and they're going through IVF and so many treatments for the first baby. But once that baby comes in the family and that stress of not having a child goes away, and so many people they conceive naturally. The second baby, they're able to conceive.
Normally with IVF, women have twins or triplets. Is it true or it's a myth?
No, it's not a myth. It is true, yes.
Is heavy period red flag or it's fine?
Heavy and painful period is a red flag.
It is?
And it is a myth. Sometimes people associate it with obesity. If you want a normal delivery, then you have to go through that process of labor, Though we have anesthesias, epidurals, but then still that early phase of labor, the first phase, it is painful. Usually these days we see that mothers are very delicate. उनको बहुत मुश्किल लगता है labor process के through जाना.
Sidhu Moosewala's little brother was born, the famous singer, and you had a big role to play in it.
Yes, we took care for like 5-6 months. We kept her.
Hello and welcome back to our channel. I hope you all are doing well. So today I have a very special guest with me, Dr. Rajni Jindal. She is a gynecologist and she is an IVF specialist. She's navigated thousands of women with their fertility journey, IVF and general gynec issues. So I would love for you to listen to our podcast today because it's going to be really informative, not just for mothers, but all women. So Dr. Rajni, it's a pleasure to have you on our show today. I hope you're doing good.
Yeah.
So I've been reading about your journey. I've been looking into it and I must say it is impressive. So what motivated you to become a doctor?
What motivated me to become a doctor? See, I am the first generation doctor in my family.
Okay, you don't come from a family of doctors.
I come from a family of entrepreneurs.
Okay.
They are businessmen. And there was no doctor in our family.
Okay, you were the first.
Yeah. And my father was very clear that the daughters, we are two sisters and we were put in a boarding school. I went to boarding straight in my 5th class.
Okay.
And like for my brothers, he never used to ask them to study or something.
Okay.
He was like, they are going to join my business.
Okay.
And my girls have to be,
professionals.
educated.
I think that's amazing.
Yes.
So your father is the main guiding light and force behind this.
Yes, he pushed me always whenever it's not easy.
I think that's amazing.
Doing well professionally and then looking after the family.
That's
looking after children.
Message for our viewers right there.
Yes.
You have your parents' support, your father's.
Yes.
You
He
can
was the one
actually.
who always used to push, even later when he used to take a break or when I'm not working, he was the one who used to say, why are you not working? Why are you not going?
That's amazing.
So that was nice, and I got a lot of support from both my in-laws and my parents.
Okay.
And that's why I could look after both the things: family, children, profession.
And why gynecology?
Gynecology, see, women health is important, and we as women, we are more comfortable with women. We want to help them out.
Yeah.
And gynecology, when I chose gynecology, it was not my preferred branch, because that time gynecology was more like obstetrics. Like it was, people used to equate gynecology to, just delivering babies and looking after pregnant women. But I'm so thankful to God that I chose this branch.
Yeah.
Because now you have so much in gynecology.
Yeah.
You have gynae endoscopy, you have this infertility, IVF, advanced treatment,
Yeah.
and the gynae oncology,
Yeah.
reproductive endocrinology.
Yeah.
There's so many branches, and you can diversify. You can choose and do what
And you love your work.
love.
That
Yes.
shows.
Yes.
I think that's the most important. If you
Yes.
love what you're doing, so that's amazing. So I would love to ask you a very basic question: that why are women and young girls especially having a lot of hormonal issues, PCOS, and all those issues now? It wasn't as much before.
Yes, there are these hormonal problems and polycystic ovary to have a genetic basis.
Okay.
And we as Southeast Asians,
We are prone to it?
Yes, we are genetically prone to metabolic syndrome, to obesity, hypertension, diabetes. So this is also an extension of the same problem.
Okay.
PCOD is also a metabolic disorder, and which exaggerates when somebody is, the adiposity with weight gain, with poor lifestyle.
Okay.
So it can become severe.
So any message for our viewers, young girls?
Yes, our young girls, we need to educate them about these problems. We need to tell them about good lifestyle, healthy eating.
But any tips they can follow in their daily life?
These days, what I see in our young generation, especially those who are very educated, sometimes people have this, like, I'm proud of myself, I'm proud of my body, and I'm proud of how I look. Sometimes they don't want to change, they don't want to adopt a healthy lifestyle because they want to be cool about it. They want to be like, I am what I am, and I'm proud of what I am, and I don't want to change myself.
Too much body positivity is not good.
So, we should love ourselves. We should love our from where we come from. We, our origin, our family, our roots. And we have to respect and love our roots. But then we have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, true.
We have to realize where we are going wrong, and then we have to adopt positive changes.
So keep a good lifestyle.
Yes.
Keep a watch on your weight.
Yes. Very important. Very important.
And since you are an IVF specialist, I would love for you to explain to our audience just what is IVF for a layman.
IVF is in vitro fertilization. So these are advanced infertility procedures where some people who have severe infertility problems, like somebody could have a severe total tubal blockage, or severe endometriosis, or ovarian failure, or severe male factor, where there's semen analysis or semen count and all is very, very poor. So those are the people who need to take help of advanced techniques. And in vitro means we are making a baby in the lab. Vitro means outside the body. We are taking the eggs out, we are taking the sperm from the husband, then we are fertilizing the eggs. We are making a day 5 embryo, which is a day 5 baby, and we are transferring into the womb. So this is how IVF is done. And certain ladies who have ovarian failure, who their ovaries fail at a younger age, and they have an early menopause, and they can't make their own eggs. So those people, they take help of ART banks, they take help of donor eggs. And some men.
And a lot of women these days, they want to be single, but then they want to have a kid later.
Yes.
So what are their options and that they can explore?
See, people who want to delay a family or they want to delay marriage, but they are very sure that they want to have kids later. They can go for egg freezing.
Okay.
They can go for social freezing. This is called social freezing. They can freeze their eggs when they are young, when they are like less than 30 or less than 35. They can freeze their eggs, and later on they have that choice, because.
So what is a good age for egg freezing?
A good age would be less than 30 years. That would be the best age.
Okay, like for the freezing.
25 to 30.
Okay.
Or less than 35.
Okay.
That is the time from 25 to 35 years of age when your egg is very healthy.
Okay.
And the egg is very fertile. And that it gives you a pregnancy and a healthy pregnancy. So,
but any complications that come with egg freezing?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really, but then they have to go through that IVF procedure for
Okay.
freezing their eggs.
But I'm sure IVF must be very emotionally taxing for a woman.
Yes, it is taxing, definitely. Why it is taxing is because it doesn't give you 100% result.
Yeah.
Sometimes after taking so much of treatment
Oh,
and
you
spending
have
so
to
much,
try again.
you still get a negative result, and that can be very draining for the patient.
Yeah.
To do it all over again.
And as a procedure, it's expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive,
Okay.
not too expensive.
Okay.
In India, it is not very expensive.
Okay.
It is still manageable.
But do you think the partner plays a big role in during IVF with the woman emotionally? I mean,
Yes, yes, yes. He is the one who takes her through this difficult journey.
Yeah.
When it's negative, it's the partner who has to support her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the toll of the treatment falls on the lady, She has
Yeah.
to take injections, she has to
Yeah.
do all those
To
procedures.
go through that whole
Yes,
journey.
she has to take hormones. So
Yeah.
it's all like she has to take all that burden of the treatment.
So, any message for like families where their daughter-in-law might be going through an IVF? How can they make it easier for her?
Yes, they can, for IVF, see, we should not. Generally, what happens is when somebody is going through IVF, they are like, now we are going to 100% get pregnant. So that expectation is 100%.
Very high.
Not to the couple alone, but even the family.
Yeah.
So what the family can do is when a lady has failed the treatment, then you have to support her.
Yeah.
You have to behave as if nothing has happened and everything is okay. Right? So that's the time when she needs a lot of support.
Yeah. But do you deal with a lot of this?
Yes,
Okay.
this is like a routine thing,
Ah.
Facing a negative, counseling a patient who gets a negative result is so important because it is.
And infertility is on the rise.
Infertility is on the rise, yes, and people delay marriage, people delay childbearing, then we have poor lifestyles these days.
Yeah.
So then a lot of girls we see taking to alcohol, smoking, so all these things affect.
Add to that.
Yes, and plus there is a lot of awareness about the treatments.
Yeah.
Many people would not wait for too long.
Yeah.
Now we have everything set in our life. Now these many years for my education, then this is the time for the family. And
Life
then,
is fast.
yes.
Yeah.
And when somebody's planning family, they want to do it within a time frame.
Okay.
And they know the treatment is available. So sometimes people do the IVF procedures, for even unexplained infertility. And many people we see they conceive their first baby through IVF and then later they have natural births.
Okay.
Right, so there's
You
so
don't
many
know.
things, time to pregnancy and all these in this modern era, all these things.
So what is
affect
a
their
good
choices.
age for childbirth?
The best age is from 25 to 35 years of age.
Okay.
For the pregnancy to be healthy and the baby to be healthy, that's the best time to do it.
And I've noticed that normally with IVF, women have like twins or triplets. Is it true or it's a myth?
No, it's not a myth.
Okay.
It is true, yes, because
Usually,
in IVF, you transfer embryos.
Yeah.
Right? We transfer embryos, which are like day 5 babies. And in India, we are allowed to transfer up to 2 embryos and up to 3 also in those patients who failed the treatments earlier. So when we are putting more embryos, there is a chance of a multiple pregnancy because both the
it's
embryos
not
can
a myth.
grow. It's not a myth.
Yeah.
It's not a myth. And our patients also, since they have spent so much of their time and energy and their money also, sometimes they also feel that they should have twins out of this treatment.
Okay.
So,
The one time and you're done.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
So
can
even
do
the
it purposely.
patients, yes, even the attitude of the patient. So there are all types of patients. Some people prefer to have a single child and then they would do a single embryo transfer, right? They would go for a single embryo transfer.
Any incident in your doctor journey that you would love to share with your audience?
Yeah, but I
can't disclose?
No, nothing like that.
Anything like which is special to you or like memorable?
Yeah, I think there are so many good memories attached with my IVF journey.
Okay.
Especially, I remember there was one patient who used to come from my hometown,
Okay.
and she had failed several cycles. She'd been on treatment since 1 year. And then I did her IVF. I think first cycle she failed.
Oh.
And second time she was successful, you know. And that day I was so happy. I was feeling, you know, not even diamonds and solitaires would give me this happiness, you know. Which
satisfaction.
yes, which this, you know, good outcome in a difficult patient gives you so much of happiness, satisfaction that nothing stands in front of that. You know. That is, you know, priceless.
Yeah, seeing the patient happy and
Yes.
fulfilled.
Getting a good outcome in whatever we do, and this happens every day, you know, when you're doing a surgery. It's a complex patient, and you have, you know, prepared, done your homework well,
Yeah.
you've done a good job, and then you see that patient succeeding. So you remember, you know, you
Yeah.
remember these patients.
I'm sure you feel special
Yes, yes.
to be able to do that.
Yeah. And then that gives you a motivation to keep on improving yourself,
Yeah.
to keep on
I think
improving your skills.
doctors are doing a great job, and especially gynecology and like something like IVF is like getting new births, like new lives
Yes,
on this
it is.
world, and it's a great thing that you're doing.
It is great. It gives you. It is so satisfying, and your
Yeah.
patients, you know, your people whom you treat, you know, they
Yeah.
remember you
Yeah.
throughout their life. They remember you, you know.
But my heart really goes out to women who are actually going through IVF. It must be an emotional roller coaster.
Yes, it is.
So, any tips you have for our viewers if some of them are going through the same?
Yes, you know, these tips I give to all my patients, that we are not supposed to expect 100% result out of an IVF cycle,
Yeah.
because it has its own limitations.
It's
It's not like doing a surgery. It's not like removing a uterus or doing removing
gotta
a
keep
fibroid
trying.
or a cyst. You know, where
Yeah.
you give 100%. I've done the surgery and I've done 100%, and your disease is gone. No, it's not like this.
Yeah.
I have given your 100%. You are doing your 100%. Still, you may not be getting a result. in
Yeah.
IVF.
Yeah.
So this expectation has to be realistic, and this expectation depends on so many things, on
Yeah.
age and on circumstances, on the problems.
Genetics.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this knowledge is so important, you know, because it saves you from the setback.
Yeah.
If everything is good, all's fine. But if it is not as per our expectations, then also it should be fine,
Yeah.
right?
Keep an open heart.
Yes, it should be fine. We should accept that, and we should move on.
So, if I can ask, how much does a person need to spend on IVF? Just a bracket, if you can give us.
In India, from 1 lakh to 2 lakhs.
Okay.
Yes, most of the treatments are possible
Okay.
from 1
It
to
can
2.
be done in that. That's great. Anything more you would love to tell
And for the
us?
subsequent cycles, because embryo freezing is possible. You can, once you are going through an IVF cycle, you've done it at a good age, where you have good number of eggs in your ovaries, you've made good number of embryos. You don't have to do the whole thing all over again, even if you fail.
Yeah.
You can use those stored embryos for a second
Okay.
pregnancy, for a second attempt. You can store them for 10 years. So these things are very nice, you know. That
Yeah.
the
And
way
about egg
technology-
freezing, can you tell us a little about the procedure, how to go about it, if any woman is considering?
Yeah. For egg freezing, we usually we give ovarian stimulation, because we want to freeze around 10-15 eggs for a lady. And to make that number, we have to give her injections, which are hormonal injections, gonadotrophins, which are usually given from 10 to 15 days, daily injection. And once she has multiple eggs in the ovaries, around like 10 to 15 eggs, both
Then
the ovaries.
fertilize.
So then this is a small procedure. We take her into the OT. We give her a very short anesthesia, 15 minutes anesthesia, short anesthesia.
Okay.
And then with a small needle, with a thin needle, we take out the fluid from the ovary, which is done under ultrasound guidance. It doesn't need any surgery or anything.
But is it painful?
It is painful, so that's why the anesthesia is given, to make
Okay.
the procedure painless. So the ovary, the follicles, which the cyst, water balloons or bubbles which form in the ovaries, which are containing the eggs, those bubbles are aspirated, and then under the microscopes we take out the eggs, and then we assess those, and we then freeze the good ones.
Okay.
So this is how it is done. It takes around 15 days, 2 weeks, and generally we start from first day or second day of the cycle. Though in cancer patients, we can do it at random. We can do on any day of the cycle, we can start that. Because there is a problem with time.
Okay.
Because we can't spend a whole month. The
Yeah.
cancer patient has to go through chemotherapy and radiotherapy.
So you had such cases?
Yes.
Oh.
We do have. We do see a lot of cancer in young girls these days, breast cancer, and then the treatments are toxic to the ovaries. So many people who get cancer before marriage or before they've had children, they go for gamete.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about this.
So we do get such patients.
So there must be days that are very emotionally challenging for you.
Yes, there are. Sometimes I cry with my patients.
How do you empathize with them?
I have to listen to them. I have to be, a patient hearing. That's what they want. They want my time when they are going through a difficult phase. And giving them time, explaining to them, talking to them.
Doesn't it ever take a toll on you?
It does take, but then, as a medical professional, you learn to cope with that. You learn to cope with that. Because you cannot be weak. Because you have to support people. You cannot be weak. You have to be strong.
I'm sure. It's not easy.
To give the other person strength, you have to be strong.
You have to be strong yourself.
See, I usually don't work. My OPD is over by 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Because my OPD is very draining. I have to do a lot of counseling and a lot of talking. And a lot of people, it's like so many people are distressed because they are not getting a result. But then, thankfully, there are so many others, you've got babies and they are happy. And then there's a balance, that takes care of everything. Even the people who are not successful, when they meet others who've had a bad time earlier and now they got a result.
So they feel motivated.
That's motivating. So it's like a self-help. It's a help group, Some people have gone through same problems, and then when they meet and they talk to each other, and then we are able to, cope up with all these stresses. And then you have extracurricular activities, they are very important. So we generally, my family is a sports lover, all of us, so we usually go for
play cricket
and go for a swim or read. So luckily we have similar interests. Even the kids love to go to the ground. So there is no clash, we all go together. And I love to travel.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love to travel.
Which is your favorite destination?
Oh, there's so much more to see.
But still till now.
I love mountains. I love Kashmir.
Okay.
I went for this trek, Kashmir Great Lakes.
Okay.
I did it 2
Dal
years
Lake.
ago. No, it's a trek which covers the 7 lakes and 4 mountain peaks. So it's like 10 to 11-day trek in Kashmir.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Even I love going for trekking trips, but it's always been Himachal somehow. But Himachal is also
Himachal
beautiful.
is also beautiful. So, beauty, nature you can enjoy
the best
on your
way
foot.
to unwind.
You can enjoy it by walking. So this is what I felt. I've done many trips, but when I started this trekking trips and tenting, camping, just living with the nature, minimalist, taking out the water from the stream and just cutting just green vegetables, cooking.
The slow life.
Just that minimalist. And
I really resonate with you. A lot of people keep asking me why you keep going to Himachal. I'm like, because it's so good, you're in nature.
Yeah.
But I'm yet to go to Kashmir.
So these are it's very good low budget trips. And then I did
and
it.
you come back fitter.
Yes, you come back fitter. I went for Everest Base Camp in
Yeah.
2016.
Oh.
So it was very difficult for me initial 2-3 days because I am not too much into gymming and all. It was actually difficult for me. But at the end of it, I felt stronger. Like I realized that I've not been using my body, not using
Enough.
my joints and muscles.
I think our body is really like
Yeah, I've made it
capable
weak.
of so much.
So make better use of it.
Yeah.
And then you
I
realize.
remember first time I went on a trek and I saw locals just going like
Yes,
this.
they're just going.
And then you realize that what are you doing? Like,
Yes, yes.
and their life expectancy is also like
Yes.
great. Yeah, oh, I love this. So, I'm glad I asked you about your favorite destination.
When
But
you go
any
there-
place that you would want to explore, that you haven't yet.
I want to explore so many places. I want to go to Bhutan. I've not been there, so it's so very close. So I want to go to Japan. I've not been
Yeah, everyone wants to go to Tokyo
So-
now. Nice.
there. Then I would like to go for like wildlife sanctuary, safari, all those things.
You like being in the lap of nature,
Yes, I
basically.
love that. I love that.
So how often do you take breaks from your work?
Shorter breaks, we take around 4 to 5 times in a year, just a
Okay.
weekend break sort of. But longer, not too frequently, like 2 weeks break. Hardly, I think I took just 2 times in the last 10 years.
Just 2
It's
times.
difficult.
Okay.
Difficult for me to go for 15 days,
Okay.
leaving behind every,
But I would love to compliment you. You have a very soothing, pretty face and
Oh,
nice skin. Anything
Oh, really?
special? Yeah, your skin is really good. Anything special you
no,
do
I
for
think I
it?
should be giving this compliment to you.
No, for real. I have done makeup as well. But
I'll just share with you one incident. My son, when he was just 6-7 years old, he was making a sketch. I was just sitting and he was
Yeah.
trying to make a sketch. And the first thing he made was the lines on my forehead.
no, I can't see it. Did you get it fixed?
That is so
No.
interesting. Then I realized, they're so prominent.
But when was this?
This was around 10 years ago. He's in medical
10
college
years ago,
now.
we saw lines.
I still had those lines, like I have these lines on my forehead since my MBBS days.
But I think your work that must be giving you the glow, like doing good work for women.
yes. It keeps you
Yeah.
happy. If you love your work, if you do what your passion is,
Yeah,
then you enjoy working. It's never a stress. It's
yeah.
never a stress thing.
But you think that stress affects your fertility, like emotional health and stress?
Yes, it does.
It
affect.
does?
And I have seen this with my patients. I've seen many people struggling with the first child and they're going through IVF and so many treatments for the first baby. But once that baby comes in the family and that stress of not having a child goes away, and so many people they conceive naturally. The second baby, they're able to
Okay.
conceive, So something, stress was hindering the first one, right? So even at a later age, after 5 years, they would conceive on their own once they already have a child in the family. It affects a lot.
Okay, it does.
It does affect a lot. Mental health affects a lot, your physical health, and especially you will see adolescent girls missing their periods during their examinations.
Oh, because of that
they
extreme
would
stress.
come to clinic, she's missing her periods, you ask her what's wrong, is there any stress? And she's either appearing for some exam or, so she's under stress.
So
And
then
that's
that
why
happens.
her hormones are getting, or irregular periods. And those things
Yeah.
happen.
So
that everything-
PCOS is common with students.
PCOS is common. It's becoming more common because it is because of poor lifestyle. It is becoming. It was always there in our Southeast Asians. We were always prone to PCOS, diabetes, and PCOS. But with a poorer lifestyle, lack of physical activity. And
So
poor
any
diet.
any more tips for young girls and just for their gynec health, if not reproduction, just for gynec health, like.
Yeah, for gynec health, hygiene is very important. So when our girls are entering into this phase, when they're reaching puberty, it's important that we teach them, we make them aware
Yeah.
about menstrual hygiene so that
Yeah.
we keep them away from infections. Then we should talk to them about these disorders which can
Yeah.
come up with poorer lifestyles.
They're marketing a lot of menstrual cups these days. You suggest
Yeah.
it's good?
Yeah,
Good for
it
the
is
environment.
okay. It is good for the environment,
Yeah.
and it is okay if somebody is comfortable with you.
But there's nothing wrong with using pads.
There is nothing wrong.
Okay.
There is nothing wrong. But
So-
then with cups and all, you can go for a swim, for
Ah.
athletes and all. It is.
Oh, you can go swim as well.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. I
yes,
didn't know
yes,
that.
Because it will retain the fluid for
Oh,
some time.
but still, it's a little scary. Like,
You learning the technique to wear it.
Ah.
You need some training. and
okay,
you
I'm
need
yet to
learn
try, but a lot of my friends have shifted to it.
Yes,
And they say it's very convenient.
it is convenient.
Okay.
It's
And-
like urinating them,
Acha.
So something
I should give it a
flowing
try.
constantly.
Yeah.
It's like when things are under your control.
Yeah. I did shift to period panties because I think it's good for like heavy flow.
Yes.
But
yeah.
yet to try the cups. There are a lot of options coming in the market now, which is
Lot of
great.
options, yes.
So I have a very basic question for you, but it's very important as well. And girls wonder about this. Is heavy period a red flag or it's fine? Heavy and painful period.
Heavy and painful period is a red flag.
It is.
And it is a myth. Sometimes people associate it with obesity. Some people say that period should be heavy, that keeps them thinner or that keeps them fit.
Yeah.
But it is a myth. The
Okay.
period should not be very heavy and it should not be painful.
Okay, it should not be.
Yes. So what we read is what we tell people is that average blood loss during a month, it should be around 80 ml. And then we should know whether it should be
Yeah.
normal, 80 ml or less than that. If it is more, then we should seek advice. We should.
So if someone notices more blood or it getting more painful, they should definitely see a doctor,
Yes, they
right?
should see a doctor. They should get an ultrasound done. It should not be very painful. And it should
Yeah.
not be very heavy. It's not good. If it is giving you anemia, if it's giving you your HB is 8 grams, less than 12 grams, you are having heavy periods. It's not healthy. You
Yeah.
should be taking care and you can take treatment for that.
Yeah. And coming to reproduction, so a lot of doctors go for cesarean these days rather than the normal delivery.
Cesarean we see a lot of cesareans these days.
Yeah, but what is the reason for that?
Yeah, reasons are two, right? One is the patient, the mother, Mother she's also very scared. She's scared of the labor pains.
Ah.
If you want a normal delivery, then you have to go through that process of labor, Though we have anesthesias, epidurals, but then still that early phase of labor, the first phase, it is painful. So you have to be strong enough to bear that pain. Usually these days we see that mothers are very delicate.
Yeah.
They don't want, उनको बहुत मुश्किल लगता है labor process के through जाना.
So it's not
And
the
then-
doctor advising them, it's the mother as well who agree.
Yes, even the doctor would look at the patient, no? She would also, before planning a delivery, the family and the doctor sits together.
Yeah.
Right? And then you explain everything. The doctor
Ah.
explains everything to the patient.
Okay.
Right? And during the labor process, which is a long process, it can take up to 12 hours. And that time you have to monitor the baby and the mother. Right? And if something happens, if the fetal heart, if the baby's heartbeat goes down, or if something happens, then an emergency cesarean takes
But
place.
what is healthier for a woman?
See, there is nothing better than a normal delivery.
Yeah.
A natural birth is the best. Because we also see a lot of complications of cesarean sections.
Yeah, you
People-
take time to recover.
Yes, because see, if you just want to have a single child or two
Yeah.
children and you are going through 2 cesarean sections,
Yeah.
that's fine. You don't see many complications. But then these days you see a lot of people who have had like earlier 2 cesareans and then because of some reason they now want to go for another pregnancy. Then the pregnancy becomes very risky.
Yeah.
Where the uterus already she's undergone 2 cesareans,
Yeah.
the uterus has become weaker, and sometimes you can have n number of complications in those pregnancies which happen after few cesarean sections. Whereas a mother who has delivered normally, If she
Recovers
goes
fast.
for a pregnancy, a third pregnancy, or a fourth pregnancy, then the complications are very low.
Low.
So a natural birth, a vaginal birth is the best for any mother.
But it's more painful that time, in
Yes,
the
you
moment.
have to be strong, right? You have to prepare yourself for that. You have to take some exercises in your antenatal period. You have to
But they
prepare
say
your
giving
body.
birth is like getting like 100 bones fractured at once. Is it
Really.
that painful?
It is painful. Yes, I have experienced labor pain, so I can say that it is painful.
And after the cesarean surgery, how long does the patient take to recover usually?
Doesn't take very long to recover. She's up in the evening. If we do a cesarean in the morning, the patient mother is up walking in the evening.
Oh.
And in 2-3 days, she's almost pain free. The pain score goes very low.
Okay.
And she can do her routine work. And after like 6 to
Just
7
a day.
weeks,
Okay.
she can even start gymming after 6 weeks of cesarean.
Okay, the body will allow so soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it's a mental game. Mentally also, if you're strong, you bounce back faster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So coming back to IVF, you feel in all these years has the perception of IVF changed, especially in smaller cities?
Yes, the acceptance is more now, and now people do come at an early age for IVF. When I started my practice, many, people, elderly ladies used to come for IVF. There are so many patients who were more than 40 years old because they couldn't avail those treatments in their times. So there was so much of backlog in infertility. So many of our patients used to be on the 40 plus and up.
Oh, okay.
But now we see a lot of young couples.
Also
They're
going.
seeking treatments when they know there is a problem. Even men, if they have severe problems, they do seek treatments and they are like open about it. And if they feel that the treatment, IVF is the only treatment for them, they do.
But how does a couple decide that this is the stage that we should go for a fertility treatment?
That happens, see, they come to us with infertility. Then we do investigation, we talk to them, we try to find out the problems. And then we tell them about all the options. And it's not the first treatment that we offer them. Any patient who comes with infertility, there are so many things that can be done. In PCOD, there is a medical treatment. In PCOD who are overweight, there is weight loss. Sometimes they can get pregnant even just with a weight loss regimen, a good diet.
Okay.
They can get a spontaneous pregnancy. So that's the first thing that we tell them. So we tell them all the options. IVF is not offered the moment the
Not
patient
the
comes.
first thing.
Yes, it's not the first thing for everybody.
At a later stage.
Yes, at a later stage or when the problem is not too much. When there is just a little bit of a problem somewhere, fertility, we can say. Their medical treatments and counseling and then giving them knowledge about the fertile period and all. These things can help. And where their problem is severe, there we go for IVF at a good age where you can get a good outcome.
Okay, nice. It's really informative for our viewers. I'm sure everyone got a really good, deep insight on this topic. Also, I happened to read something on 17th March 2024. Sidhu Moosewala's little brother was born, the famous singer.
Yes.
And you had a big role to play in it. So can you please expand on that? What was your role in it?
See, I was associated with the family when Sidhu Moosewala was shot. And there was a lot of hue and cry, and his fans had gathered in the village, and they wanted semen freezing for him. So that day I was called to go to Moosewala and do the procedure for them. But we couldn't do that, unfortunately, because we didn't have a live consent for the procedure. And our law, we are governed by an ART law. And it doesn't allow a posthumous semen collection. If we don't have a consent, then the person is live. So we couldn't do it. And then Mataji, Charan Kaurji, she came to me when she was pregnant. They had taken treatment somewhere else because she was 58 years old. We couldn't do her IVF.
It's not allowed in India.
Yes. But then she had conceived after IVF outside. And then she started having bleeding in the third, fourth month of pregnancy, and they were really scared. So because we were close by, They had
You
heard about us.
navigated her.
Yes.
And
So
you
then
even
we
did
took
the
care of her.
delivery?
Yes, we
But
took
okay.
care for like 5-6 months. We kept her because little problems, kept on happening. And there was a
Yeah,
lot of
but you must be so proud of yourself. It's a great thing you done for a family.
no. She's like, it's like I do that for all my patients,
Yeah.
So and they are a beautiful couple, very
Yeah.
simple people. So I just treated them like I treat any patient of mine.
Yeah. So I would love to tell our audience that Dr. Rajni is behind that cute little baby who is Sidhu Moosewala's little brother, which is great. I've been googling about you and it was like really coming there. So I thought I need to ask you this. So anything you would love to tell our audience, anything about yourself, your journey, about your profession, anything.
Yeah, what I always feel is that there is a balance is very important in your life.
Hmm.
And I've seen like people who are professionals. I've seen they are doing everything. I never hear from them. No, I don't have time for this. I don't know. People do find time
Yeah, when
for
they have to.
everything,
Yeah.
despite being busy. So this is what I want my listeners to be like.
Yeah.
Find time for things you love to do, and have confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
आप सब कुछ कर सकते हो, है ना?
Yeah.
सब कुछ कर
Yeah.
सकते हो.
You have to
And you
just
should do
tell,
what you want.
convince your mind.
Yes.
That's the first and main thing, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. So before we end this podcast, we do a rapid fire to make things light. So we can start with the rapid fire.
Sure.
So okay, pen or stethoscope?
Pen.
Pen.
I hardly use a stethoscope.
Yeah.
I'm not a cardiologist.
Yeah.
I'm writing most of the time, counseling, writing,
So
consents.
pen. My bad. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Tea or green tea?
Tea.
Okay, your favorite holiday destination? I think you told us.
Kashmir. I love
And
the place.
motherhood in a single word for you.
Motherhood is bliss. See, when I became a mother,
Hmm.
when you go through all that agony,
Yeah.
I became very compassionate to my patients. When I
You
used
felt
to,
their pain.
yes, I was doing my residency. I was in third year of my
Hmm.
residency. I was doing MS Gynae at Jaipur
Yeah.
SMS Hospital. So after delivering my baby, I was so compassionate to all those
Yeah.
mothers, and I used to address them as beta.
Okay, so
So
sweet.
it changed me so
Yeah.
much.
It made you
brought in so
compassionate.
much of compassion.
So one word will be bliss.
Yes.
Nice. Any mantra you go by in life?
Yeah. See, if I decide to do something, then I don't need somebody to walk with me. मैंने कुछ करना
You're
है तो
alone,
मैं
good.
अकेले निकल
कर लोगे
जाऊंगी.
आप.
हाँ. But I will do it.
Okay. Nice. You have that inner.
Yes, I want to do it, and sometimes I have to struggle to do it. But then, अगर मैं नहीं करूँगी, then I feel ashamed of myself.
Yeah.
No, I should be able to do it myself.
That's great. Any guilty pleasure of yours?
Yeah, I go out so frequently. I just leave everyone behind.
That's important.
And the moment I step out of Batinda, I leave everything behind.
Yeah.
Like it's myself and the world.
So you travel solo as well?
Yes.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so that is my guilty pleasure.
Solo travel.
Yes.
I think solo travel really opens your mind
Yes.
in so many ways.
Because you are not following anyone, you
Yeah.
have to make your own path.
Yeah. And
You are very alert.
yeah.
Otherwise, there are so many people to help you and plan for you. You are just following.
Yeah.
So I don't enjoy doing that every time, There
Yeah.
are few
You need
trips I
your
want to
breaks.
do alone.
Yeah, that's great. Any celebrity you would love to give health consultation to?
Oh, really?
Is there anyone?
Deepika Padukone.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be nice. She's
She won't
glam.
need me. She won't need me.
She might. She's a new mom. Yeah.
She's a new mom.
Yeah.
Wonderful mom.
Yeah. She looks so pretty and she's carried it so well.
Yeah, it's so
Grace.
inspiring,
Yeah,
After
she's very
delivering babies,
graceful.
They again come back to their.
The shape.
Really
Even I think Alia Bhatt has bounced back so quick.
It's so good to see, our celebrities
Yeah.
delivering babies. getting pregnant, you know.
They're normalizing it.
Yes.
That your life doesn't stop.
Otherwise, few years ago, you had most of the celebrities going for surrogacy.
Yeah. A lot of them, most
they
of
were
them.
not getting pregnant
Yeah.
themselves. So it's
Because
a big
they-
message.
Yeah,
People.
it is. I'm sure it's difficult.
And they're delivering vaginally, right? They are having a normal labor. They're not all going for cesarean sections.
Yeah. They must be doing
So-
the prenatal yoga and stuff. That helps.
Yes.
Okay.
That helps so much. The antenatal period, pregnancy
Yeah.
period, if you are active
Hmm.
and you are doing regular exercises, that helps with the childbirth also.
Yeah.
So most of our mothers are not doing that.
Hmm.
That's why we see a lot of cesarean sections.
Okay.
And people don't have so much of patience these days.
Yeah.
They don't want to take any risk. And many, you know, would just have a single baby or two
Yeah.
babies, and they don't mind going under the knife
Okay.
for that,
Okay.
right? So many perceptions. It's not only the doctors
Mhm.
who are to blame. You know,
Hmm.
it's the society as a whole
Yeah.
which has, you know, gone wrong somewhere, and
Yeah.
we see.
But it's getting better.
Yeah, it will definitely get better.
Any one person who inspires you?
Rajesh.
Your husband? So I want to tell the audience, her husband, Dr. Rajesh K. Jindal, he is a very well-known cardiologist, and they're both together doing a great job in healthcare. So it was amazing to have you with us today, Dr. Rajni, and
you.
I hope you had a good time talking to us as
Yes,
well.
Vinita, I had a lovely time, and thanks to you
Thank you.
for
It was-
coming all over and.
It's
spending
my
time today.
pleasure, totally my pleasure to be sitting with you and talking to you. And for our audience, if you liked today's podcast, if it was of any help to you, please like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you soon again with some really nice informative videos.